lawmakers on Capitol Hill fighting over which deal would work better to save the economy, or if there should be any deal right now. And all that talk of putting politics aside, forget about it. Democrats, Republicans are offering up proposals and counter proposals. Let's have a strategy session. Joining us, CNN senior political contributor and Republican strategist Ed Rollins, CNN political contributor and Democratic strategist Paul Begala, and CNN senior political analyst Gloria Borger. Gloria, what do you make of this?
I think it's insane, honestly, Anderson. I've never seen anything like this.
Did it help to have John McCain and Barack Obama go to Washington today?
I don't think it necessarily did. I mean, in the end, once John McCain went and the White House meeting occurred, you had to have both of them there. But we've been reporting all day on CNN that this was a very contentious meeting, a lot of tension in the room. And really, what was so interesting to me is the folks who have thrown a grenade into this are the House Republicans, conservative House Republicans. They don't have any use for George W. Bush. He's at 28% in the polls. Historically, they don't have much use for John McCain either.
I mean, the bottom line is that this is a four-legged stool. The House Republicans are a different breed.
What's going on with them? What's happening?
Well, my sense is they feel that Bush has led them down the stray, that he's gone in 116 days. They don't care about anything in the Treasury Department. They have no relationship there.
Do they care about anything else? And I include Democratic congressmen in this as well. Anything but getting reelected? They're all up for re-election.
They're all going to get reelected. They're all in safe districts. The ones who are going to lose seats are going to be open seats, and maybe one or two of them lose. At the end of the day, there's a lot of people thinking about how do we rebuild this party? And do we want to rebuild this party with John McCain, who's always kind of questionable on the basic facts of fiscal control, all the rest of it, immigration? And I think to a certain extent, this 110, 115 members of this study group are saying, here's the time to draw the line in the sand.
That's pretty scary stuff, though. They're thinking about party right now, not country. Is that what you're saying?
I think they're thinking about, yes, they're thinking about themselves. I think they don't think the threat is quite as great as a lot of other people do.
Paul, your take?
Well, there's always this sort of do the right thing gene in the Democratic Party, and it's frustrating a lot of analysts on my side because Democrats very much view this as Bush's problem, right? This is a set of policies that he and his party put in place.
Are you claiming that there's no politics involved for the Democrats in this?
No, but what I'm saying is why are they rushing to bail out Bush, to support Bush's very unpopular bailout plan? I think it's because they've been persuaded, those who are for it, that this is the right thing to do for the country, quite honestly, right? The House Republicans, let's give them their due. This may not be just party. This may be ideology, but it is an ideology that says this. This is their solution. Cut regulations, fewer regulations on investors and less taxes on wealthy investors. Now, a lot of people think that's what got us into this mess, is that we let these financial institutions run wild with no regulation and that we had excessive tax cuts that actually benefited investors but not citizens, right, not consumers. And so they're just like, it's like the captain of the Titanic saying we need more icebergs.
But, you know, this bailout, the way it was initially proposed, became increasingly unpopular with the American public.
Hugely unpopular.
Because it had no oversight in it, something that they're correcting. It didn't have the CEO pay limits in it. It didn't have a lot of things that Americans sort of wondered about, well, if I'm giving these folks money, why don't I get any return on my investment? Those are the kinds of things that they have been talking about. But then you have this other group, and I believe it's ideological.
Do you think it did any good to have John McCain go down there and to have Barack Obama?
No, absolutely not. I think it.
Do you think it helped John McCain's campaign?
No, absolutely not. I would have said this ahead of the meeting. I think the bottom line is that because this has happened in 2 weeks, these people represent Middle America. At least they think they do. And 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, they weren't about Wall Street. They were about small town America, worried about different things. Now all of a sudden, the world is coming to an end. The president gave, I've been around this business 40 years, the president gave the most doom and gloom speech I've ever heard in my life last night. If everybody didn't rush to their bank and pull their money out today, I'd be shocked. And so all of a sudden, they're getting bombarded by little people out there saying, what is this? Stick up for me.
I got to tell you, watching the president last night give that speech, it was like watching him in Jackson Square in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina.
Right.
I mean, he did not seem to be there.
No, he wasn't there.
It was not
I mean, he was physically there, but...
it was not his words.
I'm going to get in trouble. He's a high-functioning moron, and that's what Congress treats him as. Both parties. They didn't pay any attention to him today. They had a huge fight in the cabinet room. The president's not directing this. He sent Paulson out, who I don't know, but people say he's an able person.
And the Congress doesn't know. That's the other part.
And they have no
the Congress doesn't know Paulson very well.
Well, I mean, why should the American people have any confidence in any of these people who, I mean, their pockets were being lined by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac for years when they were supposed to be the ones having oversight. It turned out they had no sight. I mean, it wasn't oversight, it was no sight.
But I think that's one of the reasons that John McCain decided to make this tactical move and go back to Washington, because he saw saw himself as somebody who could tap into that mistrust of government and also say, look, I can work with both sides and I can work this out and I'll rescue Washington.
He's always been able to work with the other side. The bottom line about John McCain is John McCain has always gone to the other side, gone to Kennedy to put to health care, gone to Feingold to put together a campaign. He's never bought his team